Hello everyone. Today I'm going to practice and preach a video about saying sorry. We say sorry quite often. You might have come across people who keep saying sorry for each and everything they do. Oh my god, sorry. Oh my god, sorry. Sorry. They keep saying sorry for each and everything, which is not really good. Um, Look, like, take your own example. Suppose you have come across a person named A, and Mr. A is apologizing each and every time. What would you think? Will he make a good impression on you because this person is really saying sorry all the time? What will you think about this person? Think for yourself, and let us confirm later if what you think is correct or matching with what I have incorporated. See, this girl is feeling sorry and her head is down. And this boy, like Mr. A, this is Mr. A. Mr. A is saying sorry for each and everything. You don't want to be like Mr. A. So, let us understand what happens when we overuse the word sorry. See, you can look at this little cartoon over here, girl or boy, I don't know. This girl, okay, let's say this is a girl. This girl is saying, I cannot do it. Suppose this girl is thinking about her work and she's saying, I cannot do it. I must be perfect. I must not make any mistake. Blah, blah, blah. But is this really good? Because this girl is putting a lot of pressure on herself and it's not really good. She is putting a lot of pressure on herself. She is expecting lot many things from herself, and she's also thinking that her colleagues, her employers are also expecting the same out of her. But we never know who is expecting how much from us. So this girl is really anxious. She's really nervous. She's really scared of committing any mistake. So that is the first point. People who over apologize are often anxious and worry about offending everyone around them. Next point is suppose you are an employee and you have a boss. So of course you don't want to do any mistake which might hurt your boss, or you will say sorry to your boss even if you have not done any mistake. Look at yourself, you might have done this, but have you really done any mistake? No, but you still end up saying sorry because he's your boss, because the relationship is so delicate that you feel you are bound to apologize for everything, because otherwise your boss can cut your pay, your boss can fire you, your boss can do anything. You like as far as your boss is strict, he can do anything. So they also may view these people who keep on saying sorry every time, they may also view that their relationships are fragile to the point that one misstep would mean the end of them. This can also happen in cases where some relationship has really started just now, like you have been friends, really you have made some really new friend, and you don't want to do something which might hurt that person, because otherwise you might just not end up being really great friend with that person. So according to psychologists, we habitually apologize in our communication, but we can learn to be considerate without saying the word sorry. This is what I'm going to tell you in this video, that we can really say sorry in many different ways without even saying the word sorry. Let us see how. Also, we don't have to needlessly apologize for everything we do. We will come across some examples in this presentation where you will realize that we might say sorry even without even a mistake. We have to avoid it. Overusing the word sorry makes us feel timid, unconsciously diminishing our confidence. If you keep saying sorry each and every time, you might lose your own confidence. You might lose your own self-esteem to a level where it's really hard for you to survive anywhere. You don't want to do that. You don't want to keep on saying sorry for each and everything. You don't want to apologize for each and everything. So let us find out some alternatives for saying sorry. Alternatives for saying sorry. So let me take you to the first example. We can eliminate sorry from our vocabulary when we bump into someone and replace it with go ahead, pardon me, or after you. Okay, I'll give you two examples for this. Suppose you are really into a hurry and you rush into someone. And now you'll say, oh my god, I'm so sorry. But instead of saying sorry, you can also say, please go ahead, please, after you. Or you can say, pardon me. Also, another example you use these words is suppose there is Mr. B and Mr. C. Now, Mr. B and Mr. C want to say something. Something appears in their mind and they start speaking at the same time. This might happen to you also, where you are sitting with your friends and both of you start speaking at the same time. So, in such case, Mr. B is saying to Mr. C, please go ahead. Please, pardon me. If he wants to, he can also say after you. If he wants to, mm, if he wants Mr. C to speak, he can always say these words, go ahead or after you. This is showing that Mr. B is considerate enough to respect the thoughts and feelings of Mr. C. So this is a too short method. You can show the person that you are sorry, and you can also show the person that you are respecting the other person's thoughts. Next point is, during meetings we can use phrases like I have an idea or I would like to add. I'll talk about this point further ahead. Let's move on to the next point. I did not mean to offend you. Now, sometimes you might say some things which you might feel कि अरे इसको बुरा लग गया. You might feel कि अरे this person might get hurt from what I will say or what I said. In such cases, see, you can do two things in such cases. First thing is you will not say anything to that person at all. Second is that you will say what you wanted to say and then you will apologize for it. So, but sometimes you have to speak the truth, bitter truth, kadwa sach. You have to tell the kadwa sach. In such cases, you can say, I did not mean to offend you, or I had to say this for you to know, but I did not mean to offend you. Please understand that I did not mean to offend you. You can always use these kind of phrases. Next is excuse me. Yes, excuse me, we always use this word. Even from a childhood in a class, when you had to ask a doubt to our teacher, we used to raise our hand and we used to say, excuse me, ma'am, can I ask a question? Excuse me, ma'am, please explain again. Excuse me. Or if you are into a group of people and you want to run past them, you want to go past them, but you want them to move a bit. So you can say, please excuse me, please excuse me, please excuse me. You can walk through by using the word excuse me. I know this might have been experienced by a lot of you. And next is my bad. Suppose you have expressed something or you have laid your understanding on something and the other person is correcting you. The other person is correcting you and telling you that no, what you have understood is wrong, but what I'm saying, you have to listen to that and you have to understand that. You might feel sorry. Okay, you might want to say, okay, sorry, I did not understand the point. But you can also replace it by saying, okay, my bad, thanks for the explanation. You can always say like this. Next is actions speak louder than words. What is this? Now, sometimes you'll do a mistake, but you will not say sorry. You don't see. You every time if you keep apologizing, the other person will think that this person always makes some kind of excuses. But if you work on that mistake, if you want to rectify that mistake, if you want to complete that work within the deadline, or you want to finish that work somehow, and you want to amend the mistake, you can always apply this thing. You have to This is the thing. This is what it means. Action speaks louder than words. So instead of saying sorry, you can really work towards your improvement, and that will automatically show, okay, this person is really feeling bad for his mistake and he wants to improve. Next point is have sympathy. Now, there might be some times where you meet some people and they narrate you stories about their past or some mishappenings in their life, and you feel really bad for them. This feeling is not actually feeling sorry. This feeling is you are feeling bad, but you end up saying sorry. So you can always say in such cases that it sounds like you have got through some really bad phase. I understand your problems. Or you can say it sounds like you went through some really terrible times. You can always use such phrases. Next point is for interrupting. Okay, again, this I'll take up in the next slides. And the next point is for incompletion of project. If you had to complete a project within a deadline and your boss is really angry with you for not completing it within the allocated time, so you might end up saying sorry, but actually you can say these words instead. You can say, okay, sir, I understand it did not go as it was planned, but I have the situation under control now, and please give me some more time to get the job done. You can always say this. But when you are asking some extra time from your boss, always be careful that you are asking for a specified time. And if you say, I'm asked, please, sir, please give me some 2 to 3 weeks. So your boss might ask, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So you need to be really confirmed. You need to really be sure of how much time you require to complete this work. This will show that this will show your boss that okay, you are taking responsibility and you have understood your mistake and you want to improve it and you just need some time. Next is for informing something. Okay, there might be some really some things which you have to inform to the other people, just like the case of the bitter truth, just like the case of the karwa search. For example, your friend has lost his job and you both work in the same company and you have to inform your friend that he has lost his job. So it's actually not your fault that he has lost his job, but you feel really bad because your friend is losing his job. In this case, what you can do is you feel you don't want to say sorry because it's not really your fault. So you can say, I am going to break a news to you which you may not like. I am going to break news you may not like. So this will show to the other person that you are also feeling bad for this problem and you empathize with the person. So it is a way of showing empathy, empathizing with the other person, understanding what the other person is going through, and feeling, making the other person understand that you are also understand you're also comprehending what he is going through. So okay, I have to use the word understand a lot of times now. I need to find a word for that. Next is when you have not done any mistake. You can say, okay, now I'll take example of the presentation. If you are presenting something and one person from your audience has asked you to please repeat the previous slide. Now, you don't need to get angry in this case because the other person is just requesting you to please explain the previous slide. So, in this case, you just need to say, okay, you don't need to say sorry, okay, I'll explain the previous slide again. Sorry, I'm so sorry. You don't need to say all this because you have done your part, you have tried to explain, but you can just say okay and you can again repeat your explanation for the sake of the person. So this is also a place where you need not say sorry, but you actually say sorry sometimes. But instead of sorry, you can say, I when you have not done mistake, you can say okay. Next case is remain silent. And sometimes when you do a mistake, you can just remain silent. Can also be a sign that you are understanding and listening what the other person is saying. So You don't need to speak every time. You don't need to say sorry every time. You can instead say, you can just stay silent and listen what the other person is saying. Here's a picture showing listen and silent are spelled with the same letters. Think about it. Next is forgiving your perspective. Okay, now you are sitting in a presentation and the other person is presenting something. Before now you get a doubt or you want to say something contradicting to it, you can always say, first you have to wait for the other person. First you have to wait for the presenter to take a pause, and then you can ask, can is this a good time to ask a quick question? And if he says yes, then you can say, I would like to add in, or we can look at this with some other angle. We can look at it. We can look at this particular thing in another way as well. This way, you are expressing your opinions. Your opinions might be contradicting to that of the presenter, but you don't need to be sorry for this because it's not your fault. You are just expressing, and do not be sorry for expressing what you are feeling. Next is you can say thank you instead of sorry. Suppose you are very late for an office meeting and you have arrived really late at this meeting, but other people are considerate enough to wait for you. So in this case, you can really thank them that thank you for waiting, thank you for your time, and please let us begin with the meeting. See this, in this way you are saying thank you because these people have respected your time, and you are not, throwing that weight into trash. You are understanding that they have waited for you, and that is why you're saying thank you. Instead of saying sorry to be late, you can say thank you for waiting. Next is when someone has pointed out a mistake. Okay, when you have done a mistake and someone has pointed out to you, you can say thank you so much for pointing out my mistake. Is there anything else worth knowing? Thank you so much for pointing out this mistake of mine. Is there anything else where I can improve? Or is there anything, are there any other inputs you would like to provide? Please. So you can always thank this way also. So friends, these were the ways where you can replace sorry with other alternatives. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Bye.